glad in the introduction that you mentioned the Iraq War. I applaud you, Piers, for saying that because you were honest about it. You said that spreading lies like WMDs make people look at those people as less of humans, and they would accept the death of 1 million Iraqi, whether by sanctions or by invasion. Right? You are a good man. This is amazing. And you know what is similar? Is when you spread the lies of 40 decapitated babies, although it was refuted. So what happens when people hear that, killing babies is horrible. But when you say decapitated 40 babies, you are planting a certain image,
who has said that?
Trigger in people's mind.
Who has said that?
A plenitude of
Who
people
has said that? Who has said
that?
40 decapitated?
Who has said that?
You have repeated.
No, I haven't.
What?
I've never said that.
You haven't said on your show 40 decapitated babies?
Never.
Ben Shapiro didn't say it?
No.
Ron DeSantis didn't say it?
Nobody has said it.
Nobody.
No.
Piers is bugging.
No.
He's bugging.
Oh, okay.
He's bugging.
Okay, maybe
He's
I'm
bugging.
Decapitated.
He's
babies.
bugging.
I've never said that.
Bugging.
What happened?
Yeah. That's crazy. Nobody. That's a lie. That's a lie.
No.
Oh, okay.
He knows
okay,
it's a
maybe
lie.
I'm wrong. Decapitated. Here's the
You're wrong. I've never said that.
What happened?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Decapitated. Here's the
You're wrong. No.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
No, I haven't.
What?
I've never said that.
You haven't said on your show 40 decapitated babies?
Never.
Ben Shapiro didn't say it?
No.
Ron DeSantis didn't say it?
Nobody has said
Okay, Piers.
No.
Nobody said it?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Decapitated. Here's the
You're wrong. I've never said that.
What happened? No, you're wrong. But the thing is, when Iraq, the thing is, the same thing is happening in Iraq. Ben Shapiro once tweeted, not even about Gaza, about the West Bank, when Israel continued to build the illegal settlement. He said, 2017, Israel likes to build things, and Arabs, not Palestine, not Hamas, Arabs like to bomb crap and live in open sewage.
Ben was bugging back then. He was bugging. Ben was bugging. He was wild, bro.
Those are human animals.
He was tripping. He was tripping.
Because long before the Holocaust, before Jewish people were thrown in the gas chamber.
That's a bigoted tweet right
there. The Nazi propaganda called them rats.
Yeah,
as a human being, I would never accept that another
that was bigoted.
being thrown in the gas chamber. But Iraq, kill at 10, kill 1,000, 3,500. There are some.
The name of that app was Twitter at the time. It's X now.
And because of that propaganda, Mr. Morgan,
that tweet was bigoted, bro. You got to keep it a buck. I don't think he feels that way now, but
Mr. Morgan, that guy in Illinois, the 71 years old guy, kill at 10, kill 1,000, 3,500, kill at 10. Long before the Holocaust, before Jewish people were thrown in the gas chambers, the Nazi propaganda called them rats. Now, as a human being, I will never accept that another human being being thrown into a gas chamber. But Iraq, kill at 10, kill 1,000, 3,500.
Yeah, rats. That's a derogatory term too. Castigatory.
And because of that propaganda, Mr. Morgan,
dehumanizing.
that guy in Illinois, the 71 years old guy, he killed, stabbing the 6 years old
in the suburb of Chicago.
And he used to play with him. They used to be friends.
They had a positive relationship. That guy. Yeah, bro. Yeah, he said all Muslims
stabbing the 6 years old
should die or
26 times. And he used to play with
if my memory is right.
But he went in, marching into their apartment, stabbing
he
his mother
stabbed
and
the mother
him,
too. She's still alive.
All
I
Muslims
think.
could die. It took you 8 years.
I am glad that she is still alive. I read in the article that she is days ago she was in the hospital. I think she's still in the hospital. I think.
Friends, but she went in.
But she's not dead.
Stabbing his mother and killing him, shouting, "All Muslims could die."
Yeah.
It took you 8 years to change one word from Jewish to Muslim. Then you
that guy,
to us.
That was evil what that guy did to the
Let me ask you a
Palestinian,
question.
to the Muslim
Let me ask
boy
you a
in
question.
the suburbs.
How do we get from where we are now to peace?
I was told that he
Well, first of all, you
listened.
need to change the perception.
he heard
the American presidential candidate, said we
biased
are in
things
Israel
about
in this
Muslims
because it's a fight between evil and good and evil.
in the mainstream media.
You need to change the perception. Nikki Haley, the American president, you guilt to us and took away our land.
Bassem, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Stabbing his mother and killing him, shouting, all Muslims could die. It took you 80 years to change one word from Jewish to Muslim.
He was radicalized.
And then you transferred your guilt to us and took away our land.
Bassem, let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question. How do we get from where we are now to peace?
Well, first of all, you need to change the perception. Nikki Haley, the American presidential candidate, said we are in Israel in this because it's a fight between evil and good and evil. Now, if you already decided someone is good, he can do no evil. And if you decided someone is evil, it's good to kill them. Killing them is good. You see, the thing is, it is not like something new. I mean, I look at history and I see, I'm sorry to say this, but Westerners has always dealt like this with indigenous people. You first treated them like savages, Native American, First Nation, Aboriginal. They're savages. Kill all the savages. And then when they're almost extinct, you start feeling sorry for them, like animals. So maybe the solution is that we kill as many Palestinians as possible so that few of them that remains do not bother you. And
you
maybe
keep talking about
for another 100 years, you become a tree hugger.
Let me just challenge you on this.
And he will campaign for
you keep talking about Westerners like me. Okay, so let me return the favor, okay? Hamas is dedicated to the complete eradication of Jewish people.
I am not the spokesman for Hamas.
I'm not saying you are.
Why do you
I'm not saying you are. You're talking to me.
I hate them.
Bassem,
Fuck Hamas.
you are
Hamas.
No,
happy.
You're missing my point. You're talking in a generalized way about people in the West who always talk about Arabs as savages. I don't.
No, I'm talking about America.
I actually led the campaign. I led the
media
media campaign in this country against the Iraq War. Okay, so I don't see people in the Middle East as savages. But what I would say is,
I'm talking about you. You're great.
No, it's not about me being great. It's about the way Hamas behaved on October the 7th was like savages, like a pack of savages. It was the worst atrocity against Jewish people.
Terrorists are extremists.
There has to be
extremists,
a response. So my
demons, devils.
My question to you is, notwithstanding the history, Bassem, what is the proportionate response?
But I don't know. But there's no Hamas in the West Bank, and they're still dying there. So what's your excuse?
I don't have any excuse.
Okay, what's your explanation? Sorry, my earpiece went down.
Listen, I don't make any pretense that this hasn't been a massive
okay.
between Palestine and Israel going back to the mid-40s. We all know this, right?
Piers, listen. I'm not saying that you're making an excuse, but if you are adopting a certain point of view, you have to at least defend it. I'm telling you, there is no Hamas in the West Bank. What is the excuse? Not your excuse. What is the excuse to kill those people?
Well, listen, this question of proportionality is one that...
No, answer my question. I've been answering your question. You answer mine.
It's actually not my job to answer your questions. It's not.
Okay, not your job. I agree with you.
I'm more interested in you, who has family in Gaza, who's an Egyptian in the Middle East, right? I'm more interested in what you have to say.
Okay, I'm telling you. I think Hamas is the problem, okay?
Right.
Now, let's say
agree.
Hamas is removed. Let's Hamas, I'm agreeing with everything about Bush. You want me to condemn Hamas? I will condemn Hamas, Hummus, Hassan, everybody. Guys, wait. I can't hear it. The earpiece. Damn, okay, good. Okay. Yeah, I think
let's go back. Is he there?
Go back, you go.
Can you hear that?
Yo, DeSantis was bugging for saying Israel warns the civilians before killing them. He was bugging.
Now, right now, in Palestine, in West Bank and
Israel,
20% of Palestinians go through Israeli prison system, whether in
DeSantis was bugging for saying
and the rest of them
Israel Israel
loss of land, of homes, of life,
civilians before killing them.
So let me ask you something. If you are a Palestinian living in these conditions for decades, would you sympathize with your oppressor or sympathize with the people who claim they resist them even if they are terrorists?
I have made no secret that I think the conditions Palestinians have had to exist under
I sympathize
are completely unacceptable.
innocent people. I don't sympathize with terrorists.
How do you forge peace between two warring parts?
I empathize. That doesn't mean that I justify misbehavior or devilishment.
With mutual sledgehammers,
I sympathize with the innocent people on both sides.
I don't think. Well, hang on. Let me make my point. I don't think there's great leadership on either side.
I empathize with those who
here to come through all this
terrorized.
Nelson Mandela.
Yeah, where is that figure?
Nelson Mandela actually has criticized Israel for being a horrible state. All of the South African
I know. My point is
yes.
about how he responded to a country that was so divided. Is a template for how you get to peace, isn't it?
I haven't met Nelson Mandela.
I don't sympathize with devils, regardless of
I want to
religion,
what is the logic
political party, race. I don't sympathize with.
I mean, if there's a logic,
if
this will make Israel safe, I want to hear the logic. So if they continue bombing, what are they hoping to achieve?
Well, we know what their stated aim is. Their stated aim is to eradicate and wipe out Hamas. They believe Hamas are living predominantly in northern Gaza. They also are aware they're living amongst civilians. So it's an incredibly difficult thing. As I said in my monologue, it is very, very difficult to see how they do this without massive collateral damage.
So if I can understand this correctly, basically Israel is doing this to pressure the Palestinian community in Gaza to turn against Hamas. Is that right?
I'm sure that's part of it, yes.
That's part of it. So this is exactly what terrorist organizations do, because terrorist organizations will have no chance beating a whole nation in battle. So they terrorize and they kill the civilians in order to spread fear and terror so they can turn against their government to change their policy or to resign. You have just compared Israel with ISIS.
No, I haven't. I don't see any comparison between.
It's going to be the headlines tomorrow. Piers Morgan
it's not.
is ISIS.
Only amongst people who weren't listening. The comparison, which is more apposite, is ISIS and Hamas. They are both nihilistic terror groups intent on killing as many Jewish people and others as they could possibly kill. And you can't get people like that.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to do something that nobody done on your television. You know what I'm going to do on your episode? I'm going to pretend.
Bassem, that's how you pronounce his name. My bad for mispronouncing. Bassem.
In the place of an Israeli settler.
He's an actor too.
And I want to speak to my Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu. Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, I have voted for you because you have promised us peace and prosperity and security. On the 7th of October, those son of bitches Hamas, they went into the fence that is regularly heavily guarded. Usually, if there's like a dog that comes close to it, it will
Bassem. I mean, Bassem, he makes sense when he.
And they went for 6 hours before IDF.
Israel should not be compared to ISIS.
Our families.
It doesn't make sense. It's too. Bro.
I want to ask you, Mr. Prime Minister, after you have fractured the Israeli community,
but
and you have fought
ISIS is a terroristic organization, an evil, wicked, horrible.
Also, you are carpet bombing
just like Hamas
with absolutely no regard to our hostages, our people. I heard a rumor in the kibbutz that you were doing that, and you let that happen.
I see both sides, man. Both sides. Both
and I didn't believe
have
it.
good points.
My Prime Minister, he can never do that. And then I watched an interview for Danny Ayalon. He was your chief advisor. He was also the Israeli ambassador to the United States. And you know what he said, Mr. Prime Minister? He said that the solution for those Palestinians is to go into a vast land of Sinai and live into 10 cities temporarily, wink, wink, until we build Gaza again, and then we invite you back. We've seen this movie before. So, and when I saw this, I couldn't explain to my fellows in the kibbutz, how come our Israeli government is trading human life for another piece of land? So as an Israeli citizen, I need to hold my Israeli government accountable.
Yes.
And as an American citizen, I want to know all this money that we are giving to Israel. We're giving them $4 billion.
He's bugging.
Joe Biden said it's the best investment America ever done. Well, if I am
he's delusional.
Joe Biden,
I would say, sorry. he's bugging.
I would say if I was Joe Biden,
injudicious,
I would go down and whisper the ears of Netanyahu
imprudent.
and tell them, I hate that investment. They hump, like little finger to give it so. But the thing is, this is the problem. Israel always victimizes itself, and I have never seen a victim putting their oppressor under siege and monitored 24/7.
It makes sense right here.
To believe that they are the victim.
Manipulation.
Israel is so difficult. It's like being in a relationship with a narcissistic psychopath,
a psychologically abusive person.
Think it's your fault.
Gaslighting. Gaslighting. That's what that is. Gaslighting. Lighting 101.
And I have never seen a victim putting their oppressor under siege and monitored 24/7. Israel wants you to believe that they are the victim. Dealing with Israel is so difficult. It's like being in a relationship with a narcissistic psychopath.
Mentality.
He fucks you up, and then he makes you think it's your fault. You look at Israel as Superman, but they're really homelanders. They are like
a lot of people are blinded. They blindly they have blind loyalty to Israel.
We are uncensored, but if you keep swearing,
I'm very sorry.
There are a plenitude of people are sycophants, idolizing worshippers, pedestalizing. Sad.
My second question
they make it seem like Israel is flawless, perfect, infallible. Israel is not infallible, bro. Israel did scummy stuff too. So
after the break, we have the managing director of the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's company. We were going to interview him on his own, but he's happy to come on and talk. I'm not going to keep bogged down about the odd swear.
I apologize to the viewers. I apologize to viewers for my language.
My second question is this: after the break, we have the managing director of the Daily Wire, which is Ben Shapiro's company. We were going to interview him on his own, but he's happy to come on and talk with you directly if you are there to stay.
Well, of course, I can stay, but again, I am in a disadvantage, and I would like to have my space to respond.
Okay, we'll come back after the break.
Because here's the thing.
We're going to go to a break. All right. When we come back from the break, you and Jeremy I have news. We're taking a short break, Bassem. I'll be back. Welcome back to our session for more on the situation in Israel. I'm joined now by the CEO and co-founder of the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro's partner, Jeremy Boring. Jeremy, thank you very much indeed for joining me. I'm sorry we demoted you earlier to mere MD. You are the CEO and co-founder. You know Ben Shapiro better than anyone, really. I did a big interview with Ben, obviously, the other night, which went around the world and has sparked a big reaction, including from our guest Bassem Youssef, who's still with us. First of all, you've been listening to Bassem and what he's been saying. What's your response?
Well, first of all, I make it a point not to speak for Ben Shapiro. He's got a 20 IQ points on me and speaks for a living professionally, so he's much better prepared to defend himself. But as his business partner, as his best friend, I do feel like I have to respond to the things that Bassem was just saying. First of all, the question, how many sons of bitches have to be killed in order to end this conflict? I suppose that the answer is as many of them as it takes. That doesn't mean that I or Ben or any decent person in their right mind is happy with the killing of civilians. I posted at the very beginning of this conflict that a woman or a child blown apart in Gaza is just as tragic as a Jewish baby killed in one of the settlements. That doesn't mean that Israel's actions and the actions of Hamas are morally equivalent. You know, the tragedy is the tragedy, but the moral equivalency is nonsense. If you entered Israel with the express purpose of targeting and murdering civilians with your own hands in cold blood, that is not comparable to Israel bombing targets in the Gaza Strip.
There should be no moral equivocation.
Tragic consequence. War is terrible. War is an awful thing. That's why decent people don't lightly engage in war.
Two wrongs don't make a right.
Not have incited this war. You know, we can talk about the history of the Israeli conflict. I'm not a professional political commentator. I'm a CEO. I'm a screenwriter, and I'm certainly not Ben Shapiro. I'm not here to discuss the history of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but we all saw what happened on October 7th, and the idea that Israel was not going to react severely to that, or that Israel should not react severely to that, is ludicrous. And
Jeremy, let me ask you.
The idea that Ben Shapiro should be a moderating voice, that Ben Shapiro should be saying no, Israel should not respond to the situation. That's nonsense.
So let me ask you though, Jeremy. Well, the question, which I think is the big question, what is a proportionate response to that outrage on October the 7th, which is the worst attack on Jewish people since the Holocaust? What is proportionate? If it's true, as reports are suggesting tonight, that there may have been a hospital hit by an Israeli strike and up to 500 people or more have died, that would seem to me, if that is verified, and it's not verified
Rob
yet,
from the Hill Rising said that he doesn't like the statement that Israel, IDF should has the right to defend.
Certainly, but first of all, I don't know what a proportionate response is or why we would want it. I suppose a proportionate
he is
response
hesitant to ascribe rights to countries, to governments.
Palestinian women and children burn
He
their bodies,
thinks that Israeli people should be allowed to defend themselves. They should not be gunned down. They should not be shot to death. They should not be abused, tortured, armored. They should not be
the last time the West
attacked
engaged in war and won it was World War II.
unjustifiably.
They did it
They should not be deleted unjustifiably.
They did it by bringing their enemies to heel.
Rob makes sense. Rob does make sense too.
About. That's not a thing to look forward to. As I said, all decent people should avoid war. But I think the sort of lie of the post-World War II, the post-war consensus lie, is that somehow war in which you kill a bunch of people and don't secure victory is morally superior to war where you do secure victory. I would say that the only way to morally justify a war is to win it. Otherwise, the very argument that brought you into the war, this enemy must be defeated, ends up being proven a lie. I mean, Afghanistan, I think America had every right to go into Afghanistan. The Taliban was harboring Osama bin Laden and Al-Qaeda. Al-Qaeda flew planes into buildings in the United States, killed thousands of our citizens, brought the nation into untold agony.
Al-Qaeda.
America had every right morally to go in and destroy the Taliban and destroy Al-Qaeda.
But I would argue,
the Taliban now rules.
Well, that's not the war
was not won.
Jeremy makes sense when he says people should avoid war. War should be avoided. He makes sense with it.
Which is, I was editor of a newspaper when the Iraq War happened. I opposed it very aggressively as the editor of the paper. And sadly, we were borne out by events.
I concur that war is terror. I concur with him. Wholeheartedly that war is terror.
In terms of loss of life, 1 million people, in terms of ISIS being allowed to breed and create their merry hell around the world, in terms of complete dismantling of
civilians should not be attacked. Civilians should not be
attacked. I think Afghanistan, again, 20 years of attacking an enemy, which is
innocent civilians should not be attacked.
Seems to me again to be kind of pointless, and I do wonder whether Israel, in its blind fury, which I
IDF should not attack innocent Palestinians in response to what happened to the innocent Israelis on October 7th.
As to actually what happens at the end of that.
IDF should take out Hamas, but not innocent civilians.
The consequences of that action might be
civilians.
Because Israel didn't instigate this war. This war was instigated by a horrible terrorist attack on Israel. And a state is put in a position where it has to respond.
Hamas is not innocent.
One might argue the very fact that Israel has yet to
the terrorists are not
means that they
the
are
terrorists. The terrorists are not
what
innocent Palestinians.
Looks like. Any rational person, any decent person can engage in a conversation about what is the appropriate response for Israel. Of course they can. But this sort of moral equivalency thing, I don't think is a sign of decency to engage in a conversation about moral equivalency.
Let me bring Bassem back in. Listening to this, Bassem, what's your response to what Jeremy's been saying?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the gentleman's name.
It's Jeremy Boring. He's the chief executive of the Daily Wire, co-founder with Ben Shapiro on the Daily Wire.
Hi, Jeremy.
Conservative.
Ben Shapiro, and please tell him that I do think he is the smartest person to ever walk the earth. Thank you so much. So, as a response to
Bassem is funny.
I agree with everything